Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your show, Good Morning Kuwait. This is your host, Abdulaziz Darwish. We are coming to you live this morning from the Ministry of Information studios here in downtown Kuwait. As usual, in our show, we are sharing with you a variety of segments with several reports. I hope you are enjoying watching us through the KTV2 from now until 10 a.m. And before we start, I would like to greet our working crew and also my co-host, Sarah. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, dear Aziz, and good morning to you, dear viewers. Welcome to a new episode of your morning program, Good Morning Kuwait. And we are still at the beginning of the week. We have various of segments and special guests that we are so happy and pleased to have them with us this morning. So please keep watching us till the end of the program and never go away. So Aziz, less than 2 weeks, we are heading to Ramadan month, the holy month of Ramadan. And for sure, we have some preparations for the Ramadan. So what's yours? What's your plans, actually?
Yeah, when you mention about the holy month of Ramadan, on behalf of our show, Good Morning Kuwait, we congratulate everyone who's watching us through the KTV2 of the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. May Allah give you all with it prosperity and respect. Ramadan Mubarak. When you mention about the holy month of Ramadan, now it's time to prepare to go to supermarkets, to go to buy the clothes.
Yes.
And you know the good thing about the holy month of Ramadan, you will see the designs and the decoration of Al Hilal, and too many people
Ramadan.
related to the tradition. Yeah, Ramadan custom.
Ramadan, yes. A lot of people, they do some, for sure, the decoration of Ramadan, as you mentioned, Hilal, the lightnings, and also they buy some new dishes, and we call it here in Kuwait istikana, new istikanas, which is the pots and the plates for the new Ramadan. And also they want to start it with a new spirit, a new freshy month. It's not only by decoration, like by spiritual. Some people, they start to have some more family gatherings with their family. They sit at home more than the normal months in Ramadan. And there are some preparation as well, Aziz. It's really a good advice. We have to quit the coffee and the tea, the caffeine, before Ramadan, at least 2 weeks before Ramadan. Is really a golden advice for you, dear viewers.
Actually, when you mentioned about the tea and the coffee, yesterday I was thinking about this topic. Like now the holy month of Ramadan are coming, so I have to a little bit quit.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, and even we have
but
to
not
do...
today, from tomorrow.
From tomorrow? Okay, I will wait for that, Aziz. And even we have to start to do some nutrition diets before Ramadan, because for sure we have to eat less than the normal month, the regular month actually of the year. I hope you're gonna have really a pleasant month, but we're gonna talk about Ramadan later on as well. Before Ramadan, like in 1 week or in 1 day before Ramadan.
It's a couple of days ago before the holy month of Ramadan. Now we have also a daily segment.
Yes, the weather is getting really lovely and we have that really drizzling and the rains. So how about to check the weather forecast, and they will be right back to you. And now, dear viewers, let's move on with Kuna News. And the first headline: His Highness the Emir Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah sent a congratulatory cable to Chinese President Xi Jinping on the joint tripartite statement issued by China, Saudi Arabia, and Iran on resuming Saudi-Iranian diplomatic relations and reopening their embassies in the two countries' capitals.
There have been a very exposure of the Kuwaiti banks towards the Silicon Valley Bank's collapse, the Central Bank of Kuwait, CBK, announced.
The Ministry of Health adopts World Health Organization's program for monitoring and predicting and responding to outbreaks of epidemics, a ministry official said.
The Ministry of Information announced that it has already finalized the investment bidding process to establish an over-the-top OTT platform in line with its digital transformation plan. OTT offers television and film content using the internet at the request of the client through a subscription. This is our news for today. Let's go to this break. They will continue. We are back to our show again, Good Morning Kuwait. Usually in our show we have a variety of segments to share with you. We'll talk today. Today is the 13th of March. We call it the Youth Day. When we mention about the youth, youth is the pioneers and the main core for establishment for the economics and for the future generation development.
Exactly. It's really a special day for all the youth people, especially the Kuwaiti youth people. They, mashallah, entered and joined many fields. They are very good in many fields, even in a scientist way, and we can see some establishments and, many achievements they have did in the past 2 months with the let's say in the space. Yes, was amazing. And it is really a special day to memorize them actually.
And commemorate the day for them. So the youth category has a very important priority in the vision of a new Kuwait, which aims to achieve a prosperous and sustainable future for the state of Kuwait by 2035 as an embodiment of the aspirations of its youth, its people, in the various fields.
Exactly, Aziz. Today, the March the 13th coincides with the Kuwait Youth Day, which comes to celebrate the honorable youth achievements in all fields and to enhance the developmental role of youth at various levels. On the occasion, let's us follow this following report together about Kuwaiti Youth Day, and they'll be right back to you.
Kuwaiti Youth Day on March 13 of each year. The state celebrates Kuwaiti youth as the day which the national youth document Kuwait Listens was handed over the late Emir of the country, Sheikh Sabah al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may God rest his soul, based on the principle of belief in the importance of youth in shaping the nations and the advancement of society in all its fields. This tip aims to pay attention to the young people and ways to nurture them, hone their talents and develop their capabilities, benefit from their creativity, and create appropriate opportunities for them to qualify them to achieve the aspirations of the state in sustainable development, and strive to overcome all obstacles and honors all capability to serve the youth group and find the necessary solution to provide support for them. Kuwait topped the Arab countries and ranked 27th in the world in the Global Youth Development Index 2020, issued by Commonwealth Union. For many years, there was an official interest in youth, and it was completed with the establishment of the Ministry of State for Youth Affairs on January 26, 2013, with support of the late Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, by an Emiri decree. And in 2015, a decree was issued establishing the General Authority for Youth to achieve the desired goals for taking care of all matters related to youth care and work. The competent Kuwaiti authorities have adopted more than 400 youth projects, more than 30 of which have been transformed into national youth institutions whose founders have employed dozens of young people. The Kuwait Award for Excellence and Youth Creativity, the first award of its kind in the Arab world, was dedicated to honoring Kuwaiti youth for their creative achievements.
13th of March 2023, 13th of March is the day to commemorate the Kuwait Youth Day. So on behalf of me and also the working crew, we're sending our gratitude and congratulations for all the youth in the state of Kuwait about their achievement. During these days, you see too many honoring ceremony. My co-host Sarah about the youth. You will see youth who already specialized in science and already sports and acting and art and too many kind of variety of things, especially the guy who already swim. He already used to be our guest, Mr. Yusuf Shati, the athletic in Kuwait Bay, 21 kilometers swimming from Asabiyah to...
That's amazing. We are actually so proud of our youth, Kuwaiti youth. Actually, as you mentioned, Aziz, too many fields, the art, the medicine, the science. We have to congratulate everyone, and we can say we are so proud of you. So, Aziz, let's move on to another aspect, which is the decoration. So, do you love decoration, Aziz?
Decoration, it's like you will see the beauty in any corner of the house, because when you change something in the house, it means even your mood change. Exactly. I know you love decoration. You are a civil engineer.
Yes.
So you've been into the decoration and design.
Yes, decoration and design is really important and essential in our daily life. As I mentioned, it really change our perspective, our mood. That gives us that spirit, the energy to do and move on in our lives. So we're going to talk about the modern office decoration, which is really interesting, Aziz.
So when we mention about the modern office decoration design for commercial projects depend on the designing spaces aimed at development and even developing work, improving job performance and ensuring the comfort of employees and workers in any place, Sarah. This is like essential part.
Essential part, the use of space and its optimal actually exploration is one of the most important functions of the interior designer, who begins with the developing a preliminary conception of the design in terms of functionality and the aesthetics actually, and forming a distinctive idea for interior design decorations to standards and to the standards. More details about this important topics will be know more about that in this following report. So let's watch it together.
Hi there, I'm architect Sara. We're in a site we visited 3 months ago. Last time we were here, it was tremendously different, and most of you probably thought this place better be gone to demolish. However, we're here today to show you that no, this isn't what you need to do. There's so much possibilities and potential in old buildings. Yeah, maybe you saw a couple rats here and there or whatnot, but you know what? It's all treated. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that we face, the unexpected things that came out when dealing with an old building. Now, we took this chance to create something monumental because of the location it's in, right? We wanted something to bring the attraction and still give the same vibe to the same building. If you look behind me, that's the building we're talking about. What we did and the attempts we approached are things to keep it as it is, but yet give it like let's say, a bit of a makeover. So here are a few things we did to the facade. First of all, you have to keep in mind, it's expensive to do this full area, right? And we're talking about not one facade, but almost 3. Okay, 2.5. So what we did was basically take the same elements they did and kind of just like facelift it. We did that through cladding and lights. Lights are the magic of architecture, let's say. Whatever you do, you can always change it completely and utterly with just lights. So what you're seeing right now is elements that we used for cladding the strips that was part of the initial facade. What we did was brought up a material known as al-carbon. Myself, I'm not a fan of it, not at all, because it kind of gives a bit of a cheap look to things. However, it depends on the color you choose and how you utilize it. Because we're using it on angles, you're not really going to see much of it. But what we did was kind of like cover it up with the lights that are going in between, in the right, in the middle. And it kind of gives this continuation of the vertical elements that were happening originally. And to kind of bring it down to the, let's say, the human level, at the ground level, we brought up a bit of a classical element in here. Why did we do that? Well, it's because of the client. He wanted a bit of a classical aesthetics. They wanted to give the vintage vibe. It's a fabric store, so it's traditional. He didn't want it to be completely contemporary, and it's very understandable. It's a client's choice, and there's nothing wrong with choosing whatever style you want to go with, right? So we tried to blend in the existing with the client's requirement, and we got something quite special. All right, so here are a few things we had to face on the spot and resolve right away. The most important and biggest impact you would probably face in an old building is the building services and structural. Now, structure is something we'll talk about later on when we go inside. Because of the limitation of the columns that we face, we had to cut out some serious structural elements, and that is the next level stuff. So let's start with building services. In the main facade, old buildings didn't really have ducting for AC. So what happened is, if you can see behind me in the mezzanine level, that's where nowadays they put their ACs. But what happens with the pipes? It literally goes on the facade. Having that really disrupts the view, the whole facade, the aesthetics, all of that. So what we did actually was increase the volume of the base column and hide all the piping within it. So right now you don't really see them because they're going through that thick base. Personally, I didn't want that thick base or the thick columns because I wanted to have a bigger arch in the middle to kind of like give importance more to the space. And we're using a very interesting material, which we spoke about also last time, the mesh. And that mesh will go within the arch. So I wanted that to show more. Unfortunately, I had to sacrifice something for something else, and that something is extremely essential, like building services. So in that case, we had to sacrifice and go with function over form. So let's talk a little bit about the functions within the space. The first thing we have is when you first enter, to your left, we created a separate zone for the luxury brand. This luxury brand is also fabric. So I didn't want to go full on different theme, so it had to match within the same materials, but yet it had its own emphasis just by simply being in a separate zone. Later on, when you step into this area, we have a beautiful corridor with beautiful chandeliers on the front. And what we did is this is their own fabric brand. So we kept within the same theme and the same vibe and gave them a full section of continuation to have as much possible display as possible for the fabrics. On this side, we have some accessories. And then on the lower floor, we have two sections. The VIP section, that's where you go for a personal shopping experience, let's say, with fabrics, where they bring you the, let's say, the higher end fabrics for your eyes to see alone. And it's a beautiful room. And then we have the actual online shop, the meeting area, and the workstations for the employees. On the upper level, we have a lounge and a secret office. It's kind of hidden because it's within the lounge and you don't really see it, so yeah. So overall, that's the full function of the whole area. It's just fabric, but there's so much you can do within just, not for displaying fabric. There's other things that you have to have as well. All right, it's quite loud in here, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. We face so many things, but you know what? Trusting the professions to do their job and seeing the potential in the heritage and cultural buildings that existed in our city is the way to go. Wait till you see this place when it's done. Bye-bye.
Well, now we came back, dear viewers, with our special guest for today with our first interview segment. There is no doubt that persons with special needs need a special care for the health of mouth and teeth as they suffer from diseases that lead to the difficulty of social adjustment and prevent the acquisition of the skills, such as children who are in the same age. To know more about this subject, we are so pleased to have with us today Dr. Jarrah Al-Kandiri. He is a specialist in pediatric dentistry and people with special needs. So hello and good morning, doctor.
Good morning and nice to meet you. I'm quite happy to be here today to shed some light on my specialty.
Same here, doctor. So it's really a deep and interesting topic, pediatric and also the special need children.
Yes.
But first of all, we'd like to know more about yourself. Doctor, could you please introduce yourself to our dear viewers?
My name is Dr. Jarrah Al-Kandiri. I'm a specialist pediatric and special needs dentist. I'm currently working at Kuwait Hospital, where I've been working for the past 6 months. I've newly joined that hospital. I treat, as my name says, or as my specialty says, I treat children and children who have special healthcare needs. Special healthcare needs meaning either they have medical diseases, or they are under the care of medical specialists, or they have special needs including disabilities, either mental disabilities or motor disabilities.
That's amazing, doctor. So a clinic in the Kuwait hospital, past 6 months ago till now. So could you please elaborate more or talk to us more about this clinic and what cases actually this clinic received?
Sure. So at Kuwait Hospital, we treat all children basically.
Yes.
We treat children from the age of 0 up until the age of about 16 and 17. We treat them under local anesthetic or something called inhalation sedation or under general anesthesia. We treat children, as we said, with special needs. Children with special needs have a wide variety of issues associated with their treatment.
Yes.
So we do identify their problem initially. Once we identify what medical issue they have, either it is autism, Down syndrome, other types of syndromes, or if they have any cardiac issues or kidney disease or liver diseases or any systemic disease, we identify their issues. We liaise with their pediatrician. Once we liaise with the pediatrician, we do come up with a treatment plan specialized and specifically made for the individual child. Once we have a treatment plan, we decide whether to treat the child, as we said, on the chair or as a one-go under general anesthesia. We do provide that service for these children. as it is sometimes easier for them and much safer for them and easier for them to have that treatment done while they're asleep.
That's
So we
amazing.
provide the treatment, usually takes about an hour. It's done completely under general anesthesia. The child wakes up, all the treatment has been done, and he can go home on the same day.
That's amazing. So it has really a special treat as well, not only like as a dentist, actually, even in a psychological way, some tricks, isn't it, doctor?
That's true, definitely, because when we deal with children, it's very different from dealing with adults.
Exactly.
You have to go to the level of the child, you have to make the child feel secure, you have to make them feel safe, you have to provide treatment while the child is, for example, sitting and not thrashing and shouting about. So we have to kind of understand what the child is feeling and provide them with a safe environment. To provide that safe environment, the clinic itself has to have some features. First of all, the clinic itself has to have a child-friendly atmosphere.
Yes.
The staff have to be able to deal with children and understand children as well. Me, as the dentist, I also have to understand the psychology of the child.
Yes.
Different children have different needs. So therefore, we have to identify the best way to treat that individual child and then provide the treatment based on the evidence provided.
It's really a harsh job, doctor, isn't it?
It can be quite difficult sometimes,
Yes.
but I feel as though it's very rewarding as well.
Exactly, that's amazing. So we know, doctor, in the past we have only a Miri hospital like specialized in that,
Yes.
but now we have many departments specialized for special needs, the dentistry actually special needs.
Yes.
So can you please elaborate more about the importance of such a clinic, doctor?
Definitely. So the Ministry of Health thankfully has now provided special needs clinics in all governorates of Kuwait. So
Yes.
all major hospitals do have a special needs department. The pediatric dentists there can treat the wide variety of these special needs cases. It's really important to have these clinics because this population, unfortunately, has had undercare or have been staffed for quite a period of time. And because of this, these children who have complex medical requirements are having a further layer of dental cavities and dental infections and dental issues and oral issues in general.
Yes.
So when a child with these complex care requirements is overlaid with these dental problems, they can affect the systemic disease of the child. So when you have an infection, a dental infection, for example, in a child who's undergoing chemotherapy, sometimes we have to stop the chemotherapy to treat the child of the dental infection and then restart the chemotherapy again. This will have detrimental effects on their treatment, and it may delay their treatment and cause further issues. So dental care for children with special needs and special medical requirements is essential.
Yes.
To avoid them having any medical issues in the future caused by it.
Yes, yes. So that's interesting point, doctor. So it's like you have actually to deal to many doctors, not only
Exactly.
like
That's why we always consider pediatric dentistry as a hospital job.
Yes.
Because we deal with the pediatrician, the cardiologist, nephrologist, whatever the child has, we have to deal with we deal with the child,
Yes.
with their parents, and with their treating doctors as well.
That's amazing.
So we have to be everywhere at the same time.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So, doctor, what about the treatment methods that are available in the Kuwait hospital clinic for sure?
Yep. So as we said, we have the treatment options can be done under local anesthesia, which is basically the child sits on the chair.
Yes.
He has the treatment done while he's awake. It requires multiple visits, but usually this is for children who can cooperate on the chair. We also have the option of doing the treatment under sedation, where the
Yes.
child is not completely asleep, but a bit drowsy. We have either through laughing gas or nitrous oxide, or through something called intravenous sedation, where we use some pharmacological medications to get them to be a bit drowsy. This way we can treat them while they're slightly more relaxed.
Yes.
And then we also have the other option of treatment under general anesthesia, where we treat the child where they're completely asleep during the treatment.
That's amazing. We can see some picture here, doctor. We are treating some cases.
Yep.
Could
This
you
is a
please
trauma case.
elaborate such a case here,
Yeah.
doctor?
So for the previous case, it was a trauma case where the child had fallen off a scooter
Oh.
and knocked the tooth out. We call this an avulsion of the tooth. So when the tooth falls out of the mouth, if it's a permanent tooth, we try our best to reimplant that tooth. So as you can see, he fell off the scooter, knocked out his upper central incisor, fractured his upper right central incisor as well.
Yes.
He came to the clinic about a day after. The funny story was that his cousins were playing football with his tooth.
Okay.
They thought it was a dog's tooth, actually.
So this is a real,
Yeah.
this is his
This,
tooth.
yeah, this is
actually.
his tooth. This is
Okay.
the tooth that
Like
they
a
came into the
a
clinic
day and a
with.
half. You
About
tried.
a day afterwards, they came in with the tooth inside a milk bottle,
Yes.
and then we cleaned it up. We did the root canal treatment outside of the mouth,
Wow.
and then I reimplanted the tooth, splinted it for about 2 weeks, and then the end result was actually amazing.
That's
and he still has
amazing.
his tooth to this day, and he's quite happy with it. It's been about 2 years, 2.5 years now, since this incident.
Thank God cousin actually played football and
Yeah.
not throw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
What
So
about this case, doctor?
this case, for example, is a child who is around 4 years old, or maybe 3.5 years old. This child has something called early childhood caries or nursing bottle caries.
Okay.
It's a severe form of dental caries, which is caused by bottle feeding, usually, which is done at night. When the child bottle feeds at night,
Yes.
especially after the age of 1, where we have the teeth available, the milk accumulates around the primary teeth and causes severe dental cavities in these teeth. Usually these children are very difficult to treat on the chair, and therefore we try to treat them while they're asleep. This case was done under general anesthesia. It was done in less than an hour, where we did root canal treatment for the upper anterior teeth, composite fillings on the canines, and we did also crowns for the primary molars as well.
Wow.
The child comes in about 2 hours prior to the procedure. The procedure itself, as we said, takes about 45 minutes to an hour, and they leave the hospital 2 hours after the procedure.
With this teeth, actually.
With these teeth.
This
That's
result.
it.
That's
With this
amazing.
result, yeah.
How old is he? Is it from actually disabled
This
children?
child, actually, no. This was a healthy child. But
Okay.
as we said, because the child is very young, because they're about 3.5 years old,
Yes, that's right.
we can't provide this treatment for a child at this age with this complexity, because it is quite a complex treatment. They need about, if it was to be done on the chair, it would need about 6 visits maybe. And in
Yes.
each visit, we'll have to give injections and local anesthetic. A child at that age is called pre-cooperative. We can't call them uncooperative, because we can't expect them to cooperate for this type of treatment
Yes, exactly.
or for this extensive treatment on the chair. So we call them pre-cooperative. So for these children, the easiest and safest way to do the treatment for them is to have it done under general anesthesia. The child is completely asleep, can't feel a thing,
Yes.
doesn't know what we're doing. He comes in with poor
And he
oral
wakes
hygiene and back
up with
cavity,
the
and
happy, healthy teeth.
Exactly. He wakes up with a happy, healthy smile.
That's
and
amazing.
the child is happy, the parents are happy. He comes back for recall visits every 3 months. We make sure that his oral hygiene is good. We do take care of these teeth, and that's it.
That's amazing. Really, really good job, doctor. So let's talk about the medical equipment. Is
Yes.
it really differ from the regular, for the, like, let's say, normal children and
Yeah.
the special need children?
Well, as for the equipment itself, it's
Yes.
usually the same equipment. The dental chair sometimes is provided with facilities that are not available on a regular dental chair.
Yes.
For example, the footrest goes down completely, where the child can sit on the chair in a upright position. Sometimes there's a hoist to help the child be placed onto the dental chair more easily. But in general, the equipment is the same. It's just the types of treatments that are provided are slightly different. We're a bit more aggressive when it comes to treatment of children with special needs, because we don't want them coming in frequently into the clinic for treatments.
Yes.
So we are a bit more aggressive with the treatment in terms of capping teeth that have cavities in them, or if a tooth has a poor long-term prognosis, we do try to extract that tooth rather than having them come in for multiple visits and failing treatments.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Jarrah, let's speak about the phobia from dentists. We know
Yes.
even the older people and even the adults, the elderly, some people, they have some fear about going to clinic and dental, hearing the noise of the machines, you know.
Just the smell of the dental clinic can ignite fear into the hearts of people. Yeah, I know.
So what about actually special needs children, especially the young children? How actually you deal with such a patient?
So, number one thing we have to do is we have to identify the cause of dental phobia. Unfortunately, the main root cause of dental phobia is when we have children coming into the clinic at an older age with dental pain. So that's the number one cause.
Okay.
Because the child has never been exposed to a dental clinic, they come into the dental clinic with severe dental pain. Once they're on the chair, we try to treat that pain. So we have to start our first visit, our first introduction with the child is through a local anesthetic where we give them an injection. So the child associates the dental clinic with pain and therefore continues to live on thinking that when I go to the clinic, I'm going to be in pain. When I go to the clinic, I'm going to have my tooth pulled out. When I go to the clinic, I'm going to have a root canal treatment. Okay? So this will ignite fear into the child and this will continue with them for the rest of their life. So the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you bring your child regularly. Either it's your child is a healthy child or a child with special needs.
Even
they have
if
to
it's
come
healthy.
in regularly. Even if the child is healthy, they have to come in for regular dental visits every 6 months to make sure that their oral hygiene is good. We acclimatize the child. We make sure that the child can cooperate on the chair. When the child comes in for no dental treatment, just a tooth cleaning and some fluoride, they'll associate with the visit with a nice, happy atmosphere. They'll come to have a good relationship with their dentist, and they'll be happy to come in again. That's a different story when you come in and have your tooth pulled out.
And
on
I
the same
experienced that
Yeah.
when I was a child. I went to a dentist when I was 6 years old, and the dentist gave me like a toothbrush with the Donald Duck. And still now I love going to the dentist.
Excellent. So
Because,
see, that's the type of experience you get when you have regular dental visits. So if a child does come in with dental phobia, and it's my first time seeing them, they've had very bad experiences in the past, first thing we try to do is we try to acclimatize the child. We start our first visit, we try to avoid complex treatments. We explain our procedures to them. We use something called a tell, show, do procedure, where we tell the child what we're going to do. We show the child the instruments, and we show the child the material, and then we do the treatment or the procedure itself. This way the child will understand what we're doing. We don't shock them and do the treatments in one go. Some children have severe dental phobia, and no matter what you do, you won't be able to get them to sit and cooperate on the child. As we said, these children can have inhalation sedation or laughing gas, or in more severe cases, they can have treatment done under general anesthesia where they're asleep. Once they have all the treatments completed, and then they come back for recall appointments, and in these recall appointments, we can acclimatize them and get them to cooperate better.
That's amazing. Quite lovely tricks and quite lovely information you gave us, Doctor. We run out of the time, unfortunately, but inshallah, in the next episodes, we're going to have more discussion. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, all thanks and appreciation to our dear guest, Dr. Jarrah Al-Kandari. He's a specialist in pediatric dentistry and people with special needs. Don't go away, dear viewers. Let's have this tiny little break, and then we'll move on.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. Today, the Algerian Cultural Festival is being held at Radisson Blu Hotel, entitled Civil Cultural Projects, Reading Reality and Looking to the Future. Right, Sarah?
Right, Aziz. Now we will move on to an external segment with our colleague Amal, located in Radisson Blu Hotel, to provide us with the more details about this event. So, hello, Amal.
Hello, Sarah and Abdulaziz, and yes, today we are at the Radisson Blu at Desman Hall to witness one of the cultural events of the National Culture for Civil and Cultural Arts as well as Literature. Today they have a special event and it is cultural. We have let's say a lecture, and it is under the patronage of the General Secretary of the National Culture of Arts and Literature, as well as under the Minister of Culture from Egypt. Today there is a lot of attendees, especially from the diplomatic areas. You know, the Grain Festival has a lot in it, from all kinds of arts, culture, literature, movements, and you can see there are also some of the exhibitions here and there. Today we have morning as well as afternoon lectures, and this man has it between 11 until 7 p.m. 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. We can see in the background all the diplomatic nations as well as the General Secretary of the National Council of Culture, Arts and Literature are here. They are going to start soon to say the lecture. And speaking about foreseeing the future, you know, Kuwait has always been a dependent foreseeing the future, as well as giving us some of the backgrounds of history. We've got Dr. Hassan Ashkanani, who has a lecture later on, as well as Mr. Abdulsattar Naji, who has also at 5 o'clock a lecture at the Dasman Hall in Radisson Blu. We are waiting for them and eager to listen to each of them. What do they have to say? We know that the culture of each nation starts from the history and begins at the present, then goes to the future. So I hope we would have a great time, a little bit of information, and to be educated and cultured.
Special thanks to my co-host Amal Mullah. Happy to see you again. Welcome again to the show, and thank you so much for reporting live from Radisson Blu Hotel for Al Ghareen Cultural Festival. There will be we saw like a lecture from now. We start until 7 p.m. in the evening time, and too many attendees about too many like excellencies from friendly countries are participating for the days for the list for Al Ghareen Cultural Festival. So my co-host Amal, I already mentioned about the lectures, and there is a Dr. Hassan Ashkan we're going to present later, right?
They will begin. Dr. Hassan Ashkanani has at 5 p.m. a lecture, and Mr. Abdulsattar Naji would be also from 5 till 7. Both of their lectures would be later on. But now it is the civil project for the present and foreseeing the future. This lecture is being given by the General Secretary of the National Council of Culture, Arts and Literature, as well as the Minister of Culture and Education in Egypt. All the diplomatic attendees are here, and they are starting right now.
That's amazing, Amal. I would like to say also, welcome again to Good Morning Kuwait. It was really a lovely coverage from the lecture of Al Ghareen, the Cultural Grain lecture. So that's really amazing, Aziz. Yeah. So, dear viewers, don't go away. Let's have this tiny little break, and then we'll move on with our episode for today.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. We're moving for our second interview segment. The third International Conference in Physiotherapy was launched under the slogan Physiotherapy, Challenges and Achievements, during which it already discussed the latest finding of the science and technology in the field of this profession. And to know more about the details about the conference, we're pleased to have with us today this morning Lulwa Mohammed Al-Askar, physical therapy senior specialist. Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're most welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today in our show, Good Morning Kuwait. I already have a chit chat with you in the off-air. We spoke more about the third International Physiotherapy Conference. So when we spoke about this conference and the new one, I already mentioned the purpose about the latest technology and to exchange the experience about the specialist. So what about the importance of this conference?
Well, mainly the conference itself was established to highlight the achievements of services of physical therapy throughout the previous 10 years, especially throughout the corona pandemic, as well as the long waiting lists of patients. Okay. Also facing a lot of challenges throughout those years, as I mentioned, and establishing new physical therapy clinics. Nice. In several primary care facilities.
Nice. This kind of like exchanging the experience for all the fields, kind of the physiotherapy specialists. So when we spoke more about the slogan, we mentioned like physiotherapy, challenges and achievement.
Yes.
Why you picked this kind of slogan?
It's mainly to highlight, as I said, the elevation of services of physical therapy throughout the years. we faced a lot throughout 10 years, and also the achievement of having the several treatment methods presented for patients, especially like having the dry needling techniques for patients, as well as using the Lyra device for rehabilitation of neurological cases, and also the expansion of daily care services, which started in Al Fahd Pediatric Center in Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Hospital.
Nice. This kind we call the slogan. So when we spoke more about the slogan and the the objectives of the conference, so let's focus more about the administration. You know, administration always have a new visions.
Yes.
When we spoke about the administration, for every conference there is like a pillars. We have focus more objectives. What about for the third physiotherapy conference?
Well, mainly the vision of the administration itself is to continue the developmental plan, which aims to present a treatment service that is up to date and in contribution with international standards. This is the main thing. Secondly, serving as a main pillar of coordination between several governmental sectors represented by Ministry of Health, Civil Service Commission, and Kuwait University to set the plan
Yes.
and steps for the doctoral of physical therapy program.
And also we saw in the 3 books some glimpse about the conference, the attendance, the demand is high. I see also too many participants from different countries. We consider them a Kuwaiti guest. When we mention people come from US, they come from Europe continent, from Asia, and to share the experience, how was the conference and lectures?
Well, mainly it was to take as much as we can from their experience and to start setting standardized treatment services and plans depending on evidence-based scientific studies as well as protocols.
Nice. So the protocols and scientific studies, I know there is like a cooperation between the conference with the healthcare.
Yes.
So this cooperation is very important to ensure like there is something in the future about the development, right?
Yes, the future development plans are mainly to establish rehabilitation centers that have a multidisciplinary team so that the patient can receive a full treatment program from a directed place, as well as the continuation of expansion of physical therapy departments in several hospitals, and finally enhancing further studies and further training for our physical therapists and providing with up-to-date treatment methods and modalities.
When you mention up-to-date method and modalities, we see already in the 33 boxes, see the lecturer already.
Yeah.
We already spoke about the people who participate from America, Britain, Australia, and India. Too many like continents, like from Asia, Europe, and even in USA. So this kind of conference also to share experience and their knowledge to us. But there is something important. What about the new development you already saw, the new technology, depending about the physiotherapy?
Well, introducing new technology has always been challenging into the health system generally. So applying whatever is abroad into our country takes a lot of training and study as well. So by the experience of the speakers, we had a lot of discussion, and I had the privilege to talk to several of them about applying several techniques into our society.
Very nice. So when you spoke more about the physiotherapy, I know like people who's watching us through the KTV2, you know that your profession is to evaluate already to make our movement better, as good as ever, like it used to be before.
Yes.
So your role is take too many sessions, too many time to secure and recovery for the patient. So the sessions in general, how time is it take for a hand or maybe for the knee?
It depends on the case itself, and it depends on the patient. So physical therapy is a profession that has a direct interaction with our patients, whether they are having an issue or also awareness for them as well, to avoid having an injury or avoid hurting themselves while exercising or moving. So depending on the case itself, the physiotherapist will evaluate the patient properly to know where is the problem exactly and set a tailored treatment program for them that is specially made for them to improve their problem.
And also when we mention about the exercises, I know like maybe 10 days maybe for we're coming for the advent of holy month of Ramadan.
Yes.
I know the physiotherapists or even the sessions, like you always give tips to your patients, especially in the holy month of Ramadan, who have suffered from injured knee or something else. What do you want to say, tips for them? Who's watching you now?
Yeah, so our main tip is do not stop moving. Fasting does not mean that we do not stop moving or exercising, but at the same time you need to listen to your body. Stay hydrated in the breaking fast period. Exercise regularly to keep your endurance level high so that you don't lose whatever progression you got before Ramadan. This is very important as well.
And that's why we always mention that the Ministry of Health, their vision always to improve all the technologies and any techniques specialized to give the good service to the citizens and also the residents. So when you mention about the Ministry of Health, MOH, we'll talk more about their plans to improve the physiotherapy. What about the plans of the MOH?
We have a lot of plans, as I previously mentioned, regarding rehabilitation centers and expansion of physical therapy departments, as well as training, providing the proper training for physiotherapists who are actually working to enhance their knowledge, to make them more specialized in several sectors of physical therapy.
I know when we mention about the physical therapy, we mention about the athletics and exercises. So what about the elderly people? Like, you know, do you have any tips for them you want to say?
Of course. First of all, physical therapy is a big profession. It involves a lot of specialities. It involves musculoskeletal problems, neurological problems, pediatrics for children, elderly, as you mentioned. So we are involved in all sectors mainly. For our elderly people, we encourage them to move as much as they can. Continuation is important. The quality of the movement itself, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. As well as also listening to their body. This is very important.
Listen to your body. This is important.
Yes, this is very important.
During the conference, the third international conference of physiotherapy, too many lectures talk more about the injured knees. I know, like too many athletes suffering from the knees, from the elbows, and too many new technology for the knees who have injured knees. Maybe they are broken, something happening for the muscles. I noticed like even the physiotherapy have too many like sessions, like even there is weights.
Yes,
techniques.
we do use weights with our patients, depending if they need to be to increase their muscle strength itself. So because a physical therapist, after assessing their patient, they will set short-term and long-term goals for them, depending on the patient themselves. So the short-term goal may include easing their pain, improving their muscle strength or their range of motion, while the long-term goal is set between the physical therapist and the patient himself. Because the physical therapist needs to talk to the patient and know what is their goal, what do they want to achieve from therapy. Sometimes they are runners perhaps, and they have like a target of their running speed or their running
running or jogging.
Running or jogging, yes.
Nice.
So if they want to prep for a match or prepping themselves for any competition, so it depends.
Nice. And we can see all the times our guest Lulu Mohammed Al-Askar that good times run very fast.
Yeah.
We didn't feel the time. We thank you so much for joining us, and next time you have to be sure to be again. We'll talk more about the development of physiotherapy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So we already spoke to Lulu Mohammed Al-Askar. She's already physical therapy senior specialist. Dear viewers, let's go to this tiny break. They will continue.
That was really a lovely interview with my colleague Aziz and our guest Lulu. It was also a lovely episode. I hope, dear viewers, you enjoyed it as much as we did. See you for the next one and have a happy Monday.
Happy day. See you tomorrow.